Welcome back to episode 2 of My Life as a Broadcast Technician. This episode is covering the first half of July 2019. We actually finished this project and downrigged the tower on the 4th of July that year, so this episode covers a shorter amount of time, but we'll go more in depth on some topics including structural work, tools we used, and the rigging. I'd like to thank everyone who subscribed to the channel and watched my videos so far. Y'all have already enabled the channel to be monetized, which, to be transparent, is my primary motivation in making these videos and sharing them beyond my media circle of friends and family. I'm hopeful that current trends continue and we're at the start of something good here. As the new guy on the crew, I was the ground hand on D-Rig Day, but that enabled me to get my drone up and get this video that I'm sharing now 5 years later of this tower, the tallest structure in Virginia, literally towering above the Richmond skyline. The tallest building in Richmond is a 29-floor, 449-foot tall office building, and this tower is nearly 400 feet taller than that at 843 feet tall. As we start to get closer, above the horizon, you can begin to make out the guys on the tower. Bo is on the backside climbing the lattice. I think he was retrieving a rigging sling that had fallen and landed there on the tower. What you can expect in this video is a lot of work documentation photos as well as some videos of the work being performed. And to address some comments in the previous video, as I record my work going forward, I will be recording widescreen, but unfortunately a lot of my archives were filmed vertically and at the time were not recorded with the intention of being shared as they currently are. So unfortunately, many of the pictures and videos looking back at my work just are what they are. Here's a new piece of angle that we installed on one of the levels where we had finished our back-to-back reinforcement. You can see the new one is on the left. It's galvanized. There's spacers in between the two pieces of angle so that as we tighten down on the nuts and bolts holding it together, it didn't flex that long piece of angle, make it lose any of its structural integrity. As the video goes on, we'll see how the process comes together as we do the same reinforcement at another level. Something we'll probably see a lot of in these early videos of mine before I got GoPros are time lapses riding up the tower in the man basket. As you can imagine, this job is very hands-on, and man basket rides are some of the limited moments where my hands didn't necessarily need to be on something else. So this is a pretty cool tower, though, to have a video like this of. It's unique being a big four-legged self-supporter like that, and definitely unique for it to have a catwalk like this where we can walk around on the tower with a platform like that. Very, very cool. Definitely helped to make it easier when we were working right there. All those shackles you see on the rope acted as a sort of primitive headache ball. A headache ball is additional weight to overhaul the opposite side of your rope or cable. The way that we rig begins with cable on a hoist or rope on a capstan on the ground, and then the rope or the cable goes through a heel block at the base of the tower and then up to a top block, then back down to the level at which we're working. With this in mind, you could imagine the difference in cable weight between the upside going the full length of the tower and the downside when we're working, say, halfway up a tower. And that weight differential could cause the rope to get away from you. So having additional weight in the form of a headache ball will overhaul the weight differential and ensure the cable doesn't get away from you and shoot up into the block. We did not have to use a frame or brace the tower, as we never removed any existing structural components completely, just added on. To start, we would remove and replace the existing nuts and bolts that were holding the existing horizontal angles one at a time, and the new bolts were long enough to also secure the new back-to-back angle that we were adding. So we would lift the steel with the end holes and the holes for our stitch bolts already drilled by our foreman on the ground, and then position it and slide it onto our outward-facing bolts. And it sounds easy as I describe it here, but if you've ever worked with steel, you know that it involves a lot of hammering and work with the bullpen. But after securing the ends, we would level out the new piece of angle by using C-clamps and steel plates with the level. And once we got it leveled, we'd position our mag drills, and through a hole that had been previously drilled, we would drill a hole into the existing piece of steel so that we'd be able to stitch them both together. And mag drills are pretty cool in the way that they turn electricity into magnetism. You hook them up to a generator, you push a button, and it activates a magnet that'll hold it into place. So you can have it 90 degrees from the ground and drill a hole in place. It's pretty cool if you haven't used one before. Shout out Bo Johnson, Gabby Richard, tarps off. There's a look at the tower from I-95 south. If you're ever headed that way on that interstate, you look off to your right, you'll see that view. So here's Bo doing what I described previously, drilling through a hole in the new angle to put a hole in the old angle so we could stitch it together. You can also see the plates and clamps we have to level everything out. Also look at it again here. It's another video of exactly the same thing. There's that mag drill action. Here's a look at how this level was secured to the center plate and where the diagonal is attached as well. There's a few other closed out style pictures, but that pretty much wraps it up for this project. Y'all got room for one more? Alright. Here's a little preview for what the next installment in this series is going to be on. It's my first mega tall tower. First time working on a tower that's taller than the Empire State Building. We're going to close this one out with the drone flight. You can see our double drum hoist here, anchored to a secure anchor point in the back so it doesn't get pulled into the tower. You can see the cable going from the double drum hoist to a heel block at the base of the tower and then going straight up. And this is an atypical rig because it's an atypical tower, but it goes up to a top block, and then here, I'm not sure if they stair-stepped it or just had another block 90 degrees over and had it coming down that one, so it was in the middle of the tower and not on the leg. But either way, I know you guys are interested in how we rig towers, and that's something that I will capture some content on as we're doing that here in the future and the present. You know, my modern day stuff, not looking back. So expect some more stuff on tower rigging coming up. We'll be doing that again here in the next couple weeks. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to cease my narration here and just let you watch as I fly my drone around Richmond, Virginia. Thanks for tuning in.